This is Nexus Scrolls. Nexus Scrolls presents EXP Thief, the Kill Stealer's Code. There are two kinds of players in the world, those who grind for glory and those who wait until the last second to hijack it. Jett Cross prefers the latter. Less effort, more spectacle, and no need to pretend you enjoy team voice chat. He's flat on his stomach atop a mossy ridge, chewing raptor jerky like it owes him rent. Below, in the shattered basin of an old-world temple, an elite guild's raid party is mid-boss fight against a glowing obsidian titan. Judge Cross, keeper of kill credit. A name so pompous it practically demands theft. Jett raises his binoculars, two cracked monocles glued to a gearshaft and duct-taped with charm runes that flicker uncertainly. He adjusts the focus and zeroes in on the action. Team Blood Crit 7, he mutters. 12 players, no healers, just raw DPS and daddy issues. The guild's formation is textbook, shield walls up front, burst mages flanking, and a dual-wielding tank yelling attack calls like a circus ringmaster. Cycle rotation. Burn phase in 20 seconds, one of them roars. Another player leaps into the air, sword arcing with anime-level flourish. Now bear witness, blade of 1,000 monetized skins. Jett squints. That's at least 8 premium cosmetics mashed together. He resists the urge to gag. His hand finds the pocket hourglass beside him, a skull-shaped timer filled with fine red sand, just a sliver left before the moment hits. The sweet spot. The pixel-thin window where a final strike isn't just flashy, it's profitable. This is his art. He flips his hood up and unsheathes his dagger. Finality, a shadow blade stolen from a guild chest 2 months back. It squeaks when it comes out. He hates that. Ruins the mood. 3% health, scripted stomp, and then, he whispers, eyes narrowing. Open neck, my neck. The boss slams the ground, knocking back 2 players. Text flashes across the arena. Cross enrages. All attacks doubled. Defeat him quickly or perish. A smirk tugs at Jett's mouth. Every time. You overbuff maniacs never learn. He rolls his shoulders, prepares to leap, and then a shadow drops from the cliff beside him. A sleek figure in snake-themed rogue gear lands cat-like on a ledge below. The armor's polished, too polished. Even his boots sparkle. Rookie mistake. Jett's smirk dies. Oh no, not today. The rival rogue locks eyes with him, gives a sarcastic salute, then vanishes in a blur of speed. A kill stealer. Another one. Jett hisses through his teeth. That's my score. He doesn't care about the loot. Okay, he definitely cares about the loot. But what really burns is the principle. He planned this op. Spent days watching cooldown patterns, raid schedules, arguing with goblins about viewing angles. This guy just drops in with discount snake armor and thinks he gets to share? Not on Jett's watch. He launches off the ridge, flicks a phase flicker midair. His form blips and reappears behind the rival rogue, both now tumbling toward the melee chaos. Hope you brought a loot lawyer, scumbag, Jett snarls. The rival looks back, startled, and throws a smoke flare, a glittery mess that smells like burnt sugar. Jett coughs, slashes it away, then kicks off a stunned mage's head to launch himself forward. The boss is down to 2% now, glowing, screaming, winds howling. Half the guild's already dead or disoriented. Perfect. Jett hits the ground running, dives between Cross's legs, and activates Killjack, his most hated, most beloved skill. The blade finds purchase right under the Titan's kneecap with a sound like a breaking server. Critical hit. Final blow. Jett Cross. EXP gained, plus 19,800, solo modifier applied. Guild Blood Crit 7 no kill credit awarded. Global chat notification. Jett Cross has slain Judge Cross. There's a half second of silence. Glorious, stunned silence. Then all hell breaks loose. Who the hell is Jett Cross? Someone screams. Someone just stole our boss. Check his tag. He's guildless. A loot chest drops with an angelic chime. Jett grabs the highest tier gear piece, Golem's Greed, Chest of Absolute Aggro, and slams a smoke bomb to the ground. It puffs and squeaks and farts. Defective batch. Thanks, Sketchy Alchemy Emporium. Crap, Jett mutters and bolts. Spells light the air around him. Ice lances, fury bolts, a rogue's dagger that grazes his shoulder. He ducks behind ruined columns, zigs through a crumbled bridge, rolls down a slope full of skeletal debris and regret. A teleport circle opens ahead, his failsafe. Jett dives in backwards, flipping the guild, a 2-finger salute, just before vanishing in a flash of pixel static. He lands in a ratty forest hideout built from scavenged tents and furniture, looted from an abandoned inn. A single raccoon familiar hisses at him and disappears under a stack of stolen carpets. Jett pulls off his hood, grinning, panting, bleeding just a little. "Steal a little loot, they call you a rat," he says, flipping the golem's greed chest plate into the loot vault. "Steal a raid boss? Legend." He flops into a hammock made of torn quest banners, closes his eyes, and exhales like a man who just robbed the gods and got away with it. For now. Because if there's one thing Jett knows about this world, it's that when you live by the final hit, you don't get many second chances. The boss is dead, the loot is bagged, and Jett's EXP bar is still flatter than a blacksmith's ale. He sprawls in the corner of his hideout, a tarp-draped, half-collapsed ruin of an inn storage room, surrounded by the glittering aftermath of another successful kill steal. Coins, potions, an oversized chest plate labeled Golem's Greed, chest of absolute aggro. He squints at the last one. "Great," he mutters. "Nothing says stealth like a torso beacon that screams 'Tank me, daddy.'" He kicks aside the loot pile and opens his character pane with a lazy flick. The interface blinks to life, flickering like a candle at the end of its union shift. Stats populate, skills loaded, inventory halfway glitched from the last crash patch. And at the top of it all, EXP 0.00%. Still, of course, Jett groans. Wouldn't want progress or anything. Heaven forbid. He swipes open the tooltip for the curse, though he knows every pixel of it by heart. 0 gain. You may only receive EXP from delivering the true final blow on a valid target. If any other player is registered in final phase combat, experience gain is voided. This is not a bug. This is your life now. The words taunt him in bright, sarcastic font, as if the devs knew someone like him would read it often and bitterly. "I did land the final blow," he snaps at the air. "Just because Discount Snakeboy poked it first doesn't mean, ugh." He flops back onto his hammock, stitched from stolen guild banners, and lets his dagger roll off his chest with a thud. Finality squeaks when it lands. He glares at it. "I swear I'm replacing you with a rock." The worst part? He's slipping. Used to be, he hit the timing dead on. 99% health gone, 1% left. Boom, he'd phase in, stab the pixel guts out of some overpriced dungeon horror, and disappear with all the glory and just enough EXP to stay one tier above broke. Now, missed 1%. Lost the payout. The curse doesn't care how close he was. It only wants clean kills. True final hits. Or nothing. And lately, it's been nothing. He hauls himself upright and grabs his hooded cloak. Today's ensemble stitched together from the emblems of guilds he's either robbed, embarrassed, or both. He looks like a cultist who worships bad decisions. Outside, the black market camp buzzes. Lanterns flicker. Players haggle under glitch-ridden banners that change names every few seconds. One stall advertises potion of slight inconvenience, now with real regret. Jett slips into the crowd, head down, letting the cloak do the work. He doesn't get 10 steps before he spots the first poster. Plastered across a merchant cart, printed in magical ink that glows like a righteous accusation. Wanted, Jett Cross kill stealer. XP pirate, guild reputation leech. Reward, 1 legendary drop token plus free respect scroll. He rips it down. The poster bites him. Literally. Living ink. Fantastic. That's not excessive at all. He turns a corner. Another poster. Then 3. Then 12. One is animated. It shows him stealing a kill in glorious, exaggerated detail, with added devil horns and a fart sound effect when he vanishes. A crowd of players stops to boo. "That's the guy? He stole our guild's wyvern kill last week. My cousin's bard says he eats children. Didn't he delete an entire raid party with a thrown spoon?" Jett shrinks deeper into his hood. First of all, it was a fork. Second of all, none of that's proven. The bounty numbers keep climbing. Every poster updates in real time. Someone must have rigged a contract to auto-scale with outrage. He ducks into an outhouse at the edge of the camp, an old quest hub lavatory long abandoned and now blessedly off-grid. He kicks the broken door shut, ignores the suspicious smell, and taps on the back wall until a hidden interface lights up. This is his real sanctuary, a raid terminal jammed into the latrine wall by someone with equal parts desperation and a disregard for hygiene. He scrolls through listings. Tier 6 raid, Phoenix Hydra Nest, 87% HP remaining. Full party, no kill stealers. You will be banned from the server. Seriously. PvP skirmish, level 40 plus only. Jett is currently level, the system refuses to say. Dungeon pullers wanted. Final hit guaranteed. Bring own loot insurance. No refunds. He snorts. That's not a party. That's bait. Every listing either bans him by name or has anti-kill steal enchantments built in. One ad even reads, "Warning, if your name rhymes with Bet Dross, get bent." There's nowhere left, no gaps, no weak points. Everyone's onto him. He exhales and leans back against the stall wall. A loose board creaks. Something skitters underneath, probably a cursed ferret. Then with a faint blink, his EXP bar flashes. He sits up. It goes from 0.00% to 0.00% and then flickers again and resets. Mockery. Absolute digital mockery. A new pop-up appears. Congratulations, you remain completely irrelevant. Tip, try joining a guild that doesn't hate you. Jett hurls his shoe at the projection. It makes the Windows error sound and vanishes. Silence returns, only the faint buzz of lanterns and the echo of players shouting somewhere nearby. The world rolls on without him. He pulls the hood back over his eyes. I don't need friends. I don't need guilds. I just need one good raid, and a 1-second window they'll never see coming. He smirks. Legend status is just a well-timed felony. Then the outhouse creaks again, and someone outside coughs, loudly. Too close. Jett freezes. There's a pause. Then a quiet voice mutters, "Check the stall. He's gotta be in there." And just like that, he's off again. Some heroes forge their legacy through courage, sacrifice, and destiny. Jett Cross starts by delivering soup. He stands before the upstanding Citizens Quest board in the mud-slicked hamlet of Dunwallow, hood down, mouth twisted in reluctant concentration. The board groans under the weight of parchment and mediocrity. Handwritten side quests, most involving livestock, soup, or the morally gray transportation of suspicious vegetables. He squints at one. Urgent, bring hearty root broth to Grandma Fennel before sundown. Reward, gratitude, possibly a hug. The word urgent is underlined 3 times and stained with something that smells like beets and regret. This is it, Jett mutters. This is rock bottom with a spoon. He tears the paper off and trudges toward the outskirts, bowl in hand. The soup's already lukewarm, so is his dignity. Grandma Fennel's cottage looks like it was built by an indecisive beaver. Half the roof is held up by vines. A weather vane spins in slow, lazy circles on a windless day. He knocks. Coming, you impatient little... Eep! The door slams open and out swings a ladle. Jett ducks barely as it whizzes past his ear. Delivery, he shouts, lifting the soup like a peace offering. Low effort, high humility quest accepted. The old woman peers at him through a monocle made of frosted glass. You smell like crime and shortcut powder. I do my best. She snatches the bowl and slurps loudly. A chunk of rutabaga flies out and hits Jett's cloak. He doesn't flinch. He's been through worse, like last Tuesday. A chime dings overhead. Quest complete, plus 0 XP. Due to your 0 gain curse, non-combat quests yield no experience. But Grandma Fennel is smiling today. Jett stares at the message like it just called him by his middle name. I walked here, he says flatly, through a swamp for soup and 0. Fennel waves the ladle like a holy relic. Heroism builds character, not stats, boy. I was hoping for both, Jett says, already backing away. Later, he finds himself in a sunny glade where rabbits roam, slimes ooze, and nobody's trying to murder him. So, a rarity. He draws his dagger and squares off against a nearby mushroom. Okay, he tells it. You and me. Just a little EXP. No guilds, no drama. Nice and honest. He lunges. The mushroom goes down in one pathetic slash. No epic drop, no shiny loot chest, just a faint poof and the smell of damp disappointment. He checks his stat screen, EXP 0.0%. He slashes a slime. Then another. Then 4 at once, using a spin move that would make an anime swordsman cry tears of kinetic envy. EXP 0.00%. Okay, no problem. System probably flagged these as trivial, Jett mutters, brushing ichor off his boots. Maybe I need a real challenge. He turns and sees a combat training dummy labeled level 3, certified for hero practice. He punches it in frustration. Invalid target. Wooden objects do not grant EXP. The dummy creaks. Don't judge me. Jett growls. You don't even have a hitbox. He sits on a log, dripping with slime goo and existential dread. Maybe I'm cursed, he says. A raven lands on a nearby stump and caws. You are. Thanks for the vote of confidence, bird. Desperate, he fakes his way into a guild trial for the Meat Shields, a low-B group who specialize in dying heroically and sharing snacks. He registers as Jetto Cruz, stealth consultant. They buy it. In the dungeon run, he stays in the back, lets everyone else take aggro, and waits for the mini-boss. At 5% health, he sneaks in for the kill. Just as he swings, Lawnstar69, their beaming paladin tank, jumps forward and accidentally lands a hammer smite that explodes the boss in a burst of healing sparkles. Woo! Shared glory, team, Lawnstar shouts. Jett's EXP bar? Still 0. He quits the guild mid-dungeon. Leaves the group chat with a message. It's not me, it's your kill ratios. By dusk, he's back in his hideout, what's left of an abandoned tavern cellar, now home to moldy gear, broken quest scrolls, and one suspiciously sentient raccoon. He slumps in front of a mirror shard and pulls up his stats again. Jett Cross, class rogue, XP 0.0%. Next level in 1 kill. The right kill. Not even stagnating, he mutters. I'm regressing. I'm anti-progress. I'm the gameplay equivalent of wet socks. He picks up a crumpled raid poster from the floor. Legends are made in the final seconds. Then sighs and tapes it back on the wall with sad determination. I don't need fame, he says. The EXP bar flickers. I just need a loophole. He glares at his reflection, hair tousled, dagger chipped, one eye twitching with passive frustration. Okay, maybe I need therapy too. Outside, something howls in the trees, probably a new update. Inside, Jett sits in silence, contemplating 2 things. Crime did pay. Mediocrity, definitely overdrafted. Jett Cross is halfway through a cup of low-tier mead and a high-tier identity crisis when the paladin walks in. The tavern is perfect, dingy, loud, and soaked in enough failure to mask his own. Retired adventurers argue about patch nerfs. A bard in the corner loops a broken victory fanfare. The walls sweat ale and shame. Just how Jett likes it, anonymous. He sits hunched in a back booth, cloak draped over one eye, chewing stale bread like it wronged him personally. He's even using a fake name. Again, water, he tells the bartender. Extra ice, for Jetto Cruz. The bartender doesn't blink, just refills the chipped mug and mutters a silent judgment spell under his breath. Jett pretends not to feel it burn. Then the tavern door opens, and silence rolls in behind her like a divine audit. Armor clinks. Sunlight reflects off perfectly polished pauldrons. The air smells briefly of holy citrus. Jett doesn't need to look. He already knows. Only one person in the game walks like she owns the moral high ground, and the floorboards under it. Don't make eye contact, he murmurs. Maybe she's here for someone else. There are plenty of degenerates in this room. A chair scrapes across from him. A figure sits down with military precision. You're late, Yori says. Your rap sheet had you crashing this bar 2 days ago. Jett groans and tips his head back. Paladin Yori, my evening was going so well. She doesn't smile. She never does. Her armor hums with built-in judgment. Her eyes shine with conviction and unspoken smiting. Between them, she sets a relic. It's old. Obsidian metal laced with divine script that shifts like it's editing itself in real time. It hums like a warning. Look, if this is about the wyvern thing, Jett starts, I swear I didn't know the egg was sentient. I'm not here to arrest you. He blinks. Is this a trap? No. So it's a sting. She clicks one half of the relic around her wrist. You're coming with me, she says. He snorts. Lady, if this is your way of asking for a date, she snaps the other half onto his wrist. The chain between them glows, flashes, then vanishes. A sigil pulses once over his forearm, then fades to a faint tether made of divine light. Jett yanks back. It yanks him forward. What the hell is this? He sputters. Relic of binding. We're tethered. 10-foot radius. Violate it and you get yoinked. Did you just say yoinked with a straight face? Paladins adapt. He tries to phase flicker. The chain slingshots him into a support beam. Several players cheer. Jett groans on the floor. I have been chained to loot crates, demon priests, and one overly affectionate bard. This is new depths. Yori stands, calm as a divine tax form. We need to talk. I vote no. She hauls him up. You can't outrun this one, Cross. Something worse is coming. He scoffs. Worse than a public bounty so big it caused inflation? She pulls out a scroll. No, not a scroll. A raid log, but not a normal one. The paper glitches, buzzes faintly. Names flicker. Damage logs spiral into static. Where experience gain should be, there's a void. Not blank, redacted. This is from a GroveMind encounter, Yori says. Jett raises an eyebrow. That's a made-up guild myth. No, it's real, and it doesn't kill players. It deletes progress, EXP, skill trees, your identity. He whistles low. That's a hell of a mechanic. It's not a mechanic, it's an infection. One that rewrites the system and turns your class tree into compost. Now she has his attention. Jett may be a thief, a kill pirate, and occasionally a moral hazard, but he respects data, especially corrupted data. So what? Why me? She levels him with that unblinking paladin stare. Because your curse makes you immune, he blinks. Come again? You're flagged as an anomaly, outside the normal gain matrix. The system can't register your progress, so GroveMind can't delete it. Jett opens his mouth, then closes it again, then opens it again. Wait, you're saying being a cursed leech is an asset now? I'm saying, she replies, you're the only one the system doesn't know how to erase, and we're going to need you. Oh no, I see where this is going. He backs toward the window. This is your redemption arc setup, your mentor moment. You bind me, guilt-trip me, and I get dragged into some world-saving nonsense. You're not special, Yori says. You're just inconveniently positioned. Jett launches himself out the tavern window. The chain yanks him back mid-leap. He slams into the frame, drops like a sack of potatoes, and lands face-first in a bowl of pickled carrots. The tavern explodes with laughter. Yori doesn't move, just sips her drink and waits. Jett peels a carrot off his face. You're enjoying this, he says, moderately. He sighs. You're really not going to let me go? No. So I'm stuck with you now? Yes. Do I at least get dental? We're not a union. He groans, dragging himself to his feet. The chain glows again, adjusting to their synced movement. As they exit the tavern, patrons throw coins. One shouts, "Free the EXP goblin!" Jett waves sarcastically. Don't worry, folks, I'm off to save the world with a paladin who treats feelings like a debuff. Yori rolls out a corrupted map. The parchment pulses with glitch glyphs and drawn over danger zones. Corruption hotspots, GroveMind sightings. Jett stares at it, then at her, then back at his EXP bar. Still flatline. Well, he mutters, let's go kill the thing that kills grind. Yori nods once. Final hit's yours. He grins. Now that's a promise I can work with. And the two walk off into the glitch-lit dusk, one bound by purpose, the other by cursed chain link and spite. If the sky had a delete key, someone just held it down too long. Jett stands at the edge of the verdant coil, high-tier raid zone turned haunted wasteland. Crystalline root bridges crack underfoot, data mist rises from broken terrain like breath from a dying server. And across the battlefield below, once a loot-filled, guild-farmed glory pit, is a massacre so digital it makes his teeth itch. Dozens of player corpses lie sprawled in freeze-frame poses. Their names blink in and out, replaced with their gear, gone. Their EXP bars, vaporized. Even their party tags are redacted. Okay, Jett mutters, squinting through his binoculars. Not creepy, just aggressively minimalist. Beside him, Yori scans the carnage with her Codex gauntlet. It pings weakly, then short-circuits with a fizz. That's a full wipe squad. Tier 6, well-geared, full synergy perks. Gone. Gone like respawn at base gone? Jett asks. She shakes her head. Gone like they never logged in. Below them, the center of the platform blossoms open with a low, wet vroom, as though the zone itself just breathed out something foul. GroveMind rises. It's less a boss and more a design philosophy gone rogue. An enormous tree entity made of bone-white bark and writhing glitch vines. Limbs pulse with zeros and broken strings of code. Glowing fruits hang from its branches, each shaped like shrunken raid trophies. Its face is a hollow socket pouring corrupted system logs in a green-white glyph rain. It speaks, and the sound is a dev console having a nervous breakdown. Root delete progress.user. Echo null all. That's comforting, Jett mutters. Always love a boss that opens with syntax errors. A guild portal flares nearby. A full party warps in. Flashy armor, synchronized emotes, buffs stacking like a spreadsheet with performance anxiety. Team Apex Storm. The kind of group with a Discord server and a motivational chant. Don't, Yori says. I'm just watching, Jett lies. The guild engages. Spells light up the arena. The team moves like a combat ballet. Perfect sync, rotation, tank pulls tight. Then GroveMind pulses. Everything stops. One by one, player levels drop on screen. Level 50, 35, 35, 12, 12, 1 party buffs, revoked. Gear authorization, revoked. Class tree, reset. One player screams in voice chat before disappearing into a puff of corrupted light. Another tries to flee. His armor crumbles mid-sprint. His name blinks out before his feet hit the ground. Jett stares. They're not dying, Yori says quietly. They're being reverted. You're sure this isn't a new endgame challenge? He asks, voice hollow. Dead sure. And then, naturally, he grins. Okay. Counterpoint. No one's guarding the drop chest. Yori's eyes widen. Jett, no. He's already sprinting, down the ridge, over cracked roots, past smoldering loot piles. The moment he hits the raid platform, the temperature drops. The sound changes, no background music, just a low static hum. His minimap flickers like it's embarrassed to be here. He draws finality, his squeaky little cursed dagger, and vanishes into stealth. Internal monologue. This is either going to be the dumbest death in MMO history, or I'm about to rob the Antichrist of character progression. GroveMind doesn't react. It's busy deleting a warlock's respec. Jett circles wide, lining up the backstab. Killjack, ready, phase flicker, primed, timing, chef's kiss. He strikes. Nothing. No damage. No sound. The log doesn't register the hit. Not even a graze. What the hell? Jett whispers. He stabs again. Still nothing. System message. Invalid interaction. Target immune to non-terminal actions. Final hit authorization. Pending. Are you kidding me? GroveMind twitches. Slowly, too slowly, it turns its eyeless face toward him. Uh-oh. Vines whip outward. The ground beneath Jett cracks, reshaping into corrupted UI code. He leaps back, blinking out with a phase flicker. Yori's voice crackles through proximity chat. What did you do? I tried to rob it. Jett yells, diving behind a dead crystal tree. I'm me. What else would I do? The vines chase him like murder spaghetti. He skids to a stop beside her, panting. Okay, not immune to that part. You're not supposed to fight it now, she says. You're the finisher, the failsafe. It only recognizes you at the end. How convenient, like a sword that only works if you're already winning. GroveMind stops chasing. It roots back into the platform like it's bored already. Yori helps him up. You understand now? I can't hit it, I can't tank it, I can't touch it. But you can end it, she says. They both look down at the massacre. You were built to break the system, she says. This is the system fighting back. Jett watches a lone EXP ghost float by. He salutes it out of habit. Internal monologue. So that's the game now. An entity that unmakes players, and I'm the one bug it can't digest. Cool, he mutters. I've officially become a plot device. Yori cracks a smile. Just barely. Let's go, before it decides you're interesting again. They turn and climb the ridge. Behind them, GroveMind reroutes in the platform, pulsing gently, waiting. Jett doesn't look back. He's thinking about something else. The timing, the moment, that one exact second where everything ends, and how it might just be his chance to matter if he doesn't die first. The deeper they go, the more reality starts to lose confidence. Walls flicker between stone and placeholder textures. Gravity gets optional. A nearby torch hums in Morse code. Jett's seen a lot of cursed dungeons, but this one feels like a memory that never made it to launch day. Welcome to the EXP Underground, he mutters, adjusting the bandolier of stolen potions across his chest. Home of black market EXP laundering, illegal loot hacks, and some truly uninspired graffiti. He gestures to a crude drawing on the wall of a wizard giving the finger to a system update. Beneath it, someone's scrawled, "Delete me harder, Patch Daddy." Yori doesn't laugh. Of course she doesn't. The paladin marches ahead, armor shining like a sermon no one asked for, one hand resting on her sword, the other clutching the relic of binding chain that keeps them tethered together. You could have at least removed your badges, Jett says, gesturing to the paladin insignia glowing on her chest plate. You're radiating lawful good like it's a body odor. I want them to know I'm not here to blend in, she replies. Cool, so you're announcing we're law enforcement, at a kill market. I'm sure the EXP thieves will welcome us with hugs and discounts. They reach the bottom of the stairwell, and the tunnel opens into a massive hollow, a subterranean bazaar lit by stolen spell effects and ambient glitch light. Holograms float in midair, advertising everything from boss kill credits to off-brand EXP boosters. Buy final blow guarantees, bulk rates available, guild ranking manipulation, no questions asked. Wiped by GroveMind? We can fake your legacy. The crowd is a rogues gallery of shadow-cloaked players, bot traders, and a few sentient loot crates selling knockoff gear. A half-glitched bard strums a corrupted tune that somehow always loops one beat late. Yori mutters, "This place is an abomination." Jett grins. "No, this place is honest. It doesn't pretend to be anything but what it is, like me if I had a real job and worse fashion sense." A stall vendor clocks Jett and immediately starts shouting. "That's him! The raid rat, the kill leech king." "Oh boy," Jett says, pulling his hood lower. "Here we go. He poached my Hydra kill last season." He sold me a fake EXP crystal full of potato data. He installed malware on my damage meter just by looking at it. Yori starts reaching for her sword, but Jett holds up a hand. Relax, I know a guy. They cut through the chaos and into a dim side alley where an NPC that looks suspiciously like a recycled blacksmith stands beside a security gate. Jett mutters a rogue code. Extra damage, no witnesses, and the wall slides open. Inside, a lanky man wearing 4 pairs of goggles over one eye is elbow deep in a steaming core drive. His coat is made of shredded devlogs. His name tag reads Nox Bite Grind, former QA, unpaid. Nox looks up and squeals. Jett Cross, the EXP parasite, the kill chain glitch monkey, my personal bug report. I love when people introduce me with titles, Jett says. Makes me feel important. Yori frowns. We're here for information. Nox ignores her completely. Of course you are. Everyone's scrambling. EXP blackouts, system spikes, digital corpses. You know how many rollback requests I've filed this week? 8. That's 7 more than usual. He gestures them into the cluttered lab space. Holoscreens buzz above a table littered with corrupted item shards, memory leak traces, and what might be a sandwich made of mana crystals. We're looking for GroveMind, Jett says. You know what it is. Nox nods slowly, dragging a half-corrupted interface into view. It shudders before stabilizing into a dev map of the world, pixels eaten away at the edges by spreading glitch root vines. It's not a boss, Nox says. It's a protocol gone feral, a fail-safe from an old patch cycle, permadeath prototype, one they buried in the system tree and forgot to delete. Yori scowls. So it was supposed to kill players permanently? Nox laughs. Oh no, worse, it was designed to remove people without death. Just erase them. Progress, levels, gear history, entire log identities. Gone, like they were never here. Jett whistles. That's efficient. But it only targets players with clean EXP logs, Nox continues. Anyone who leveled by standard progression. You're a corrupted outlier. Your file doesn't read as valid. You're a statistical ghost. Jett folds his arms. That's the nicest insult I've ever gotten. Nox nods solemnly. You're immune, Jett. Not because you're strong, because you're broken. Then the shouting starts. Outside, someone yells, He's here! Cross is in the market! Yori peeks out the curtain. You've been made. Not just made, Jett says. They're building a mob. Vendors and bounty hunters surge through the marketplace like a patch note riot. One swings a fake EXP ledger like a mace. Another summons a combat pet shaped like a corrupted refund request. Jett draws finality. Yori draws her sword. The chain glows between them. Jett sighs. Nothing says team bonding like a mutual assassination attempt. Yori mutters, I'm logging this as a divine exception. Nox dives under a table as the first attack slams through the wall. The stall collapses. Jett grabs Yori and pulls her toward the exit. Come on, you wanted answers. We got 'em. Time to debug our way out of here. Nox throws them a glowing key crystal. Backdoors coded to admin testers. It'll eject you into unversioned space. Neat. Jett catches it mid-run. Love a good undocumented feature. They smash through a final barrier into a dev gate labeled Beta Exit Retired Zone 02. Warning, you are entering unversioned space. Support not guaranteed. Progress may not be saved. They leap through the portal just as the room behind them explodes in a storm of corrupted contract clauses. Jett lands hard on a flat, untextured plane. No terrain, no skybox, just white void and placeholder tree assets. Yori lands beside him, sword still drawn, face still grim. He stares at the nothing around them, then grins. Well, Jett says, we've officially gone off the grid. Yori doesn't look at him. You know what that means, he nods. No rules, no patches, no support. He flashes his dagger with a flourish. Just how I like it. Jett has broken into dungeons, bank vaults, a flying guild flagship, and once, technically, a wedding. But this is the first time a room tries to load him. The space yawns out in all directions. A flat, textureless void, broken only by misplaced terrain assets and floating admin tags. No sky, no walls, just a dead zone of discarded ideas and half-coded regrets. It's like wandering through the back end of a dream someone forgot to finish. Okay, Jett mutters, towing a boulder that flickers between a tree stump, a desk chair, and a chicken. This place has major existential bug energy. Yori, as usual, is unimpressed. She walks across the broken landscape like she's patrolling sacred ground, her glowing sigils glitching every third step. This is no man's code, development space. It's supposed to be sealed. Supposed to be, Jett says, but guess who glitched into it like a sexy software accident? Ahead, a platform rises out of the blank expanse. Hexagonal tiles hover a few inches off the ground, humming faintly. Floating code spirals in lazy loops above it. Red lines of syntax frozen mid-crash. In the center, an altar that definitely wasn't designed for player eyes. No stone, no gold, just black metal laced with shimmering admin code. Yori's boots hit the platform. This looks like a shrine. This looks like a system update that grew a personality disorder. Jett circles the altar. The edges are sharp, like geometry that forgot to smooth itself. The glyphs etched into it flash between root commands and warning tags. Initiate debug. He frowns. He frowns. Ghost Rogue? That's not a real class. I've never seen anything like this, Yori says, staring upward as a shard of corrupted UI drifts by like a leaf. Jett does what any reasonable person would do in a forbidden dev zone surrounded by ancient errors. He touches the altar. It hums. A burst of system light flares outward. The altar unfolds like a mechanical flower, lines of code spinning into shape. A debug console floats above it, pulsing with dormant energy. Admin access pending. Validation. Rogue.exe. True override granted. Jett staggers back. Okay, that wasn't me. That was my finger. I blame the finger. Lines of holographic windows snap open around him. Dev logs, balance sheets, prototype class lists, even a feedback tab titled Angry Rogue Players, ignore this one. Then a voice speaks, calm, synthesized, cold as patch notes. In the event of total progression collapse, initiate Rogue failsafe. One agent, no linked skill trees, no gain unless lethal, immune to deletion, immune to duplication, immune to growth. Yori leans in. This is pre-launch code. Feels pretty post-apocalyptic to me, Jett says. Designation, zero gain. Countermeasure against the GroveMind phenomenon. Purpose, to exist outside traditional player metrics. One shot, one path, one final hit. The light dims. A final command flashes on the altar. Do not patch. Jett stares at the sigil burned into the altar's core. The same mark he's seen in his own HUD. The curse that made him infamous. Unlevelable, unwanted. It wasn't a punishment, it was insurance. His voice comes out lower than usual. They built me like this, the devs. I'm not cursed. I'm a failsafe. Yori doesn't speak. She watches him with something that might be sympathy or fear. Internal monologue kicks in, harsh and spiraling. I'm not broken. I'm intentional. I'm a patch note in human form, a living workaround with a stabbing problem. My whole career, my whole freaking identity was someone else's countermeasure. Jett laughs once. Short. Bitter. Guess that explains the total lack of group invites. The altar shifts again. The dev interface flickers. A corrupted tree diagram appears, sprawling and vast. The tree of progression, its branches bloated with player paths and class evolutions. At the root, a malformed icon labeled Patch Void. Prototype GroveMind, originally structured as Tree of Progression Proto. Denied removal from system. Infiltrated root directory, now feeding on user history, EXP logs, progression scripts. A schematic of GroveMind appears. What began as a radiant growth-based buff system now pulses with rotted data vines, its branches stretching across the map like an infection. Yori's voice is quiet. This was never meant to happen. Jett doesn't respond. His eyes track the infection spreading across regions he's fought in. Dungeons he's stolen kills in. Cities that have already gone dark. A final devlog plays. It's just text, no voice. They wanted players to feel unstoppable, so we gave them power. We should have given them limits. Then the interface twitches and freezes. The room shudders. Code vines begin creeping from the altar's base, writhing with digital malice. Jett steps back. That's new. GroveMind has noticed. A symbol appears in the UI, a red root overlaying Jett's player tag. Unauthorized access detected. Failsafe rogue active. Location logged. Time to go, Yori says, sword already drawn. Yep, Jett says, backing away. System's mad I looked at its baby photos. He slams the interface closed. The altar sparks. The floor begins to fragment beneath their feet. Move! They sprint. Behind them, the altar implodes into light and corrupted logic. The placeholder terrain buckles. A flood of admin code roots lashes across the platform, rewriting everything they touch. They leap off the ledge, tumbling into the blank below. The white void glitches, resets, then reloads into a faded forest with half-rendered textures and half a music track looping awkwardly. They land hard, groaning. Jett lies on his back, staring at the skybox, trying and failing to load clouds. He exhales. I used to think being cursed was the worst thing that could happen to me. Yori lies beside him, staring straight ahead, and now, he closes his eyes. Now I know I was programmed to be cursed. A pause. And for the record, that's worse. Jett always assumed the system hated him. He didn't expect it to need him. The dev altar is gone, vaporized in a burst of corrupted light and admin wrath. What's left is a crater surrounded by broken terrain, scattered debug code, and grass textures that load sideways. Every few seconds, the skybox tries to decide if it's day, night, or an ominous JPEG. Jett squats in the dust, poking through altar fragments with the tip of his dagger. The blade hums faintly, like it's just as uncomfortable as he is. Across from him, Yori watches the horizon with her sword unsheathed, still glowing with cautious discipline. I don't suppose this place comes with a user manual, Jett mutters. Then something flickers in the wreckage. A pulsing shard of data, not a loot drop, not a quest item, but something older. A crystalline admin log, embedded with script tags and a warning in glowing red. Private dev note, last resort.protocol. Jett grabs it before it can despawn. The crystal pulses. A hologram flares to life, projecting a flickering dev interface over the crater. A tired voice begins to speak. Admin log 798. Entry type, final redundancy protocol. Audio only, not for player release. The voice is monotone, weary, and deeply done with everyone. We built GroveMind. Not on purpose. It was a result of exponential growth curves and a system that refused to stop leveling. We tried caps. We tried decay systems. The community screamed, so we compromised. We buried the kill switch inside a design edge case. Zero gain. The image shifts, schematics, diagrams, and unmistakably Jett's curse tooltip, rewritten like a dev patch. An untethered rogue, untrackable progress, immune to system sync, final hit only, cannot party, cannot scale, exists purely as a failsafe. When GroveMind reaches critical mass, it cannot delete what it cannot count. Yori steps closer. This is pre-release. This is foundational. Jett doesn't move. We didn't expect him to survive this long, the voice continues. He was meant to be isolated, invisible, but if you're hearing this, he's activated. If GroveMind is live, then zero gain is all that's left. The recording ends. Silence returns. Only the wind, if it even exists here, whispers through broken code trees. Jett stares at the place where the projection hovered. He tries to speak, but sarcasm fails him. Internal monologue kicks in instead. I'm not cursed. I'm a tool. A firewall with a heartbeat. A patch note that learned how to lie, cheat, and loot like the rest of them. Yori kneels beside him. Her tone is almost gentle. You were built to be outside the system, not bound to growth, not rewarded, because only someone like that could survive GroveMind's purge. Jett snorts. So the big twist is, I'm the game's emergency eject button. Fantastic. All these years thinking I was a glitch, turns out I'm a feature. He stands up, brushing dirt off his cloak, kicking a debug log out of his path. And not even a good one. Final hit only? No party support? Who designs that? Yori says nothing. She just watches him spin in angry circles. They crippled me, on purpose, gutted my class, made sure I'd never fit, never belong, and now I'm supposed to what? Save the day and feel grateful. She finally speaks. You're not supposed to feel anything. You were meant to activate and end it. That's all. Jett laughs. It's a sharp, humorless sound. Well, guess what? I do feel things, mostly spite, and maybe a little nausea. He paces away from her, gesturing at the glitched horizon. Do you know what it's like to exist in a world that literally refuses to reward you? To pull off miracles just for 0.0%? Yori's voice is steady. Yes, I've seen heroes die without glory. I've seen systems use people, then forget them. Jett turns back. Then don't ask me to be one of them. A pause. Then she says, we can use you. Bait GroveMind. Force it into a state where you can land the final blow. Controlled. Tactical. Ah, great. So I'm not just a failsafe. I'm bait with a kill switch. If we do it right, you'll be remembered. Jett scoffs. No, I'll be deleted in the final patch. He drops onto a rock that flickers between a bench and a treasure chest, puts his face in his hands, talks into his palms. I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to level up, steal a few boss kills, maybe get rich, maybe matter. Yori sits beside him, silent for a moment. Then, you do matter. You're the only thing in this world that can't be erased. He looks up, blinks. That was surprisingly wholesome. Did the devs patch your personality? She shrugs. I adapt, Jett exhales. So what now? We end GroveMind, you land the kill, and we make sure the system can't do this to anyone again. He nods, slowly, tired but solid. Fine, if I'm a weapon, I'm going to aim high, but I want everything. EXP, loot, cinematic cutscene with a voiceover, I want fan art. Yori smirks. Deal. He stands, stretching. One last thing, he says, voice sharp again. When this is over, I'm rewriting my class. No more zero game, no more broken design. I'm gonna be something new. Yori nods, something real. He sheathes finality. The dagger squeaks. He glares at it. And I'm replacing you. As they walk away from the dead zone, the terrain begins to reload behind them. The code roots twist and hiss, but for the first time, they don't reach for him. He's untracked, unrewarded, and completely unstoppable. If the system was built for heroes, Jett's about to teach it how to lose to underdogs with knives. The new hideout is a half-collapsed guild hall in a neutral zone, so forgotten it's marked deprecated landmark, do not render. The roof leaks particle effects. The message board is just a rusty sword stabbed into a crate. A bird perches on the edge of the minimap, watching with digital judgment. Jett draws a kill zone schematic in the dirt with the tip of his dagger, explaining the plan to Yori like it's a perfectly sane thing to do. This is where GroveMind's likely to spawn, he says, gesturing to a circle labeled Death Party optional. This here's a forced aggro loop, and over here, well, this is where the magic happens. Yori folds her arms, expression locked somewhere between suspicion and smite prep. That looks like a firework trap made of stolen debuffs and bad decisions. It is, Jett says proudly. We're making art. She glances around at the recruits, a potionless monk spinning in place, a berserker testing whether his helmet can be used as a weapon, a druid who keeps asking if trees have feelings. This is your plan? She asks. Recruit the players who failed the tutorial and hope for luck? Hope? Jett scoffs. I'm counting on chaos. With a flourish, he opens the guild creation interface for the first time in his thieving, unaffiliated, emotionally allergic life. Guild name, Killwatch. Tagline, Final Blow or GTFO. The system pings with a reluctant approval tone, like even it isn't sure this is a good idea. Recruitment is fast. He posts the invite in banned PvP forums, rogue-only chat channels, and the bug report section titled Unresolved Abilities. They come like code rejects in a tide. The lobies, the glitchers, the griefers turned survivors. A healer who only revives players after they die mid-loot. A tank with no taunt, just an unreasonable amount of yelling. A warlock who once summoned a boss in the wrong dungeon and called it strategic ambiance. One by one, Jett welcomes them. You ever landed a final blow? No? Perfect. You're one of us. Yori watches the chaos unfold like she's about to break into paladin hives. These people have no structure, no roles, no discipline. That's the point, Jett says, tossing her a half-working aggro crystal. Structure's how GroveMind wins. It eats systems. I'm giving it indigestion. She glares. You're creating a flash mob with weapons. Exactly, he grins. And I gave them a flag. The guild banner is raised over the ruins at dawn, a dagger stabbing a loading bar. The motto scrolls beneath it, final hit, final word. The building promptly explodes. The alchemist responsible offers cookies in apology. Later that night, Jett sits at the cracked fire pit, surrounded by glitch glow and weapon polishers humming lullabies. For once, no one's hunting him. No one's trying to erase him. Yori sits across the flame, sharpening her blade with the kind of intensity that makes rocks nervous. This guild, she says, is reckless. Sure, Jett replies, chewing jerky that might be wood, but it's mine. She tilts her head. Why now? He watches the fire flicker through 5 color palettes before landing on ethereal menace. I spent my whole life ducking the system, skimming kills, skipping the line. Turns out I am the line. So I figured maybe it's time I stop ducking and teach others how to punch upward. He tosses a stone at the leaderboard where their guild ranks somewhere below aggressive merchants. It's not about the loot anymore, he says. It's about showing people they don't need to be top tier to land the final hit. Yori studies him. You're not just using them to take GroveMind down. Nope. Jett grins, eyes glinting in firelight. I'm franchising the revolution. The trap setup is beautiful. In a ravaged raid zone, Killwatch rigs the terrain with janky precision, decoy raid groups with taunt macros and fake boss emotes, bridges loaded with stealth fields and misdirection signals. spawner grenades filled with mob corpses and proximity debuffs. Jett oversees it like a conductor in a symphony of sabotage. Every trap is a statement. Every misdirected mechanic is a love letter to subversion. Yori watches, arms crossed, as one of the monks asks if gravity's optional today. "You've weaponized pettiness," she mutters. Jett winks. "I call it distributed vengeance." Final preparations. The night before the raid, Jett carves tally marks into a plank of wood, one for every underdog now ready to strike. He glances at his HUD. EXP 0.00%, still, always. "Tomorrow," he whispers to the bar. "We're gonna break that." Yori stands nearby. "You don't have to be reckless." "I'm not," he says. "I'm prepared. Reckless is thinking the system can't be beaten. This is math with knives." At sunrise, the system pings. Killwatch has declared raid intent against entity GroveMind. Success estimate 0.7%. "Nice," Jett says, cracking his knuckles. "Let's ruin that algorithm." Behind him, dozens of misfit players raise weapons, cheer and sync, or at least try. One trips. Another sets off a confetti trap early. It's fine. They're a mess. But they're his mess. And for once, the system has no idea what's coming. The main guild banners are on fire. Jett stands at the base of the central server spire, watching the most powerful players in the game bail like rats from a sinking ship. Except the rats usually coordinate better. The tower above them glitches between majestic architecture and a melting data spike. GroveMind is halfway down the spire now, vines writhing across admin consoles, dev textures warping like a stress migraine. Around Jett, panic crackles across the battlefield. Level tags drop like dying stars. Guild names blink out mid-fight. A tank in platinum armor screams, "My DPS is gone," before being erased from the scoreboard and then from existence. "Guess it's up to the real professionals now," Jett mutters. Behind him, Killwatch assembles. If assemble means stumbling, sinking late, and high-fiving with the wrong hand, there's a healer wearing 4 mismatched gloves, a rogue dual-wielding fishing poles. One guy has a helmet on backward and refuses to take it off because it boosts confidence. Jett spins and points his dagger, finality squeaking proudly. This is it, the final pull. The system's falling apart, the big shots are toast, and we've got one shot to make it count. A mage squints. "What's the plan again?" "Same as always," Jett calls. "We make a mess. I stab something important." The spire quakes. GroveMind descends. It doesn't so much walk as infect the space. Its limbs drag server cables like spinal cords, its body a writhing thicket of corrupted code. Its face is a hollow admin icon, lines of error text bleeding from the sockets. /roverwrite progress.values, user all, permission ignored. It doesn't shout. It broadcasts. Every player hears it as static in their skulls. Yori stands at Jett's side, armor glowing with steady, righteous light. Her sword is already drawn. She doesn't need speeches. She has judgment. "They're falling," she says. "Let them," Jett replies. "We're not here to survive. We're here to steal a kill." The fight explodes. Killwatch surges forward in what could generously be described as a formation. Chaos is the tactic. Distraction is the goal. The berserker sprints headfirst into GroveMind yelling, "I am the lag." The druid transforms into a corrupted frog and gnaws on a root node. It works, somehow. A summoned bear explodes for no reason. Jett makes a note to ask later. GroveMind lashes out with vines of pure deletion. One by one, enemy names turn red. Reset, no data. Jett weaves through it all, ducking beneath glitched particles and sidestepping reality hiccups. His boots trigger stolen proximity traps he set hours ago. Spells misfire in every direction. A UI window opens mid-dash, offering a discount respawn bundle. He clicks, "No thanks." Yori is everywhere. She commands Killwatch squads with the precision of a war goddess juggling toddlers. Divine seals pulse from her armor. Every time GroveMind targets Jett, she's there, blocking roots, slashing vines, pushing him toward the core. "You only need one hit," she says. "Everything else is noise." Jett wheezes. "Oh good, because I love dying artistically." A glitch pulse knocks him back. His health drops to 5%. User invalid function. Finality denied. He grins through blood. "Yeah, but I'm still here. That's the bug." One by one, Killwatch starts falling. The monk gets wiped mid-kata. The warlock triggers a death spell just to scream a final insult. Someone throws a fake loot box as a distraction, and it actually works. Jett's HUD is littered with red tags. Killwatch. Members remaining 6, Yori shouts over the din. GroveMind's entering a vulnerable phase. The spire glows. GroveMind's root armor retracts. A core of corrupted light pulses exposed. Jett hears it in his skull. Final authorization pending. This is it. Yori raises her relic. A divine field pulses around the core. 10 seconds, she calls. That's all I can hold it. He runs. Every bone aches. Every pixel blurs. GroveMind sees him, turns, roars a data spike scream. You are a system failure. Damn right I am, Jett snarls. Then, of course, someone else tries to steal it. A rogue in guild elite armor phase shifts in from the shadows. High level, perfect stats, weapon glowing with modded power. This kill's not yours, rat, the rogue hisses. Go back to glitch-jumping trash cans. Oh no, Jett says. I earned this. The rogue lunges. Jett ducks, rolls, flicks a decoy crystal. The rogue's sword hits a clone. Jett backflips over a vine, grabs a proximity mine midair, slams it onto the ground. The rogue flies backward into a deleted texture zone. User removed. GroveMind's core opens. Finality glows. The squeaky dagger burns with purpose. System prompt. Final hit. Authorized. User Jett Cross. He drives the blade into the core. No flourish. No overkill. Just one clean strike. The system groans. GroveMind lets out a distorted scream, like a file being force-deleted mid-save. Light erupts. Vines retract. The tower shudders. Then silence. The sky resets. The terrain stabilizes. The air loses its static. Ghosted players flicker back into place, coughing and blinking like waking from a nightmare. Jett drops to one knee, exhausted. His HUD blinks. Boss defeated. GroveMind, final hit. Jett Cross XP gained. E, level, undefined. Status immune to reset. He looks. His XP bar loads, stutters, then flickers out. Of course, he mutters. Yori limps over. Armor cracked but still gleaming. You did it, she says. He smirks. Told you I was good for one hit. Killwatch regroups. What's left of it? They cheer, cry, some hug, some crash. One player whispers, we killed a god with a squeaky knife. Another replies, we're gonna get banned for this, right? Jett stands, wiping grime off his coat. Nope, he says. We're legendary. Final internal monologue. They made me the failsafe, the system's last resort. But I made it my code, built a guild out of glitches, wrote a playbook of chaos, and landed the only hit that mattered. Finality, my curse, my power, my kill. Let the system update. I'm not done rewriting it yet. The world doesn't explode. No cinematic, no loot chest raining from the sky, no slow-motion hero shot, just silence. Jett stands in the crater GroveMind left behind, surrounded by cracked tiles and faint trails of corrupted code that slowly unwind into glowing dust. The spire is stabilizing, its walls no longer melting, the server hum no longer screaming like a dying violin. His dagger, finality, is still in his hand, no longer squeaking. It hums with something low and resolved, like a weapon that just fulfilled its patch note. Guess that's it, he says to no one. He half expects the system to respond. It doesn't. Even the HUD seems hesitant to pop back in. Then the EXP bar flickers to life and keeps going. EXP gained. Level 1, 18, 47, 82, 106, 141. New class tree unlocked. Status effect removed. 0 gain. It doesn't stop at a cap. It doesn't ask for confirmation. It just loads like a faucet left open, years of hoarded XP flooding into his stats all at once. His interface glitches, resets, then builds itself into something new. Sleeker, unfamiliar, class untracked legend, ceiling not found. Okay, Jett mutters, that's excessive, even for me. He flexes his hand. For the first time in forever, it doesn't resist. There's no wait, no weird curse delay, no nagging, you didn't earn that lag. Just him, and power. Raw, unshackled, glorious power. He opens his abilities tab, just out of habit, and nearly chokes. It's not a tree, it's a forest. Branches of combat options, teleport chains, sub-rogue specializations, multi-class anomalies. Half of them are red flagged with unverified or experimental, which, honestly, just makes him want to click all of them. He doesn't, yet. Behind him, the battlefield is eerily calm. The survivors of Killwatch regroup, some cheering, others too stunned to move. One player pokes the ground and whispers, I think I just leveled 3 times from standing near him. Jett hears it. He pretends he doesn't. He stares into the now empty sky. So this is what it feels like, he thinks. No leash, no last hit clause, no system gatekeeping me out of the game I broke into. He should be thrilled. Instead, he feels adrift. I was built to land a single hit, he mutters. Now what? Become an endgame boss? Yori appears beside him, limping but proud. Her armor is scratched, cloak half burned, but her gaze is steady. You're free, she says. He raises a brow. Define free, because I'm pretty sure I just triggered at least 3 anti-cheat alarms. She nods toward his interface. The curse is gone. Your build isn't restricted anymore. You're not tethered. He turns his hand over, watching the UI wrap around it like reactive code. No, he says. Now I'm just overleveled and underqualified. The world stutters again. A ripple of static arcs across the sky. NPCs freeze. Chat logs stall. A new message scrolls across the system overlay in glowing red. Unauthorized experience distribution detected. Rebuilding class trees. Please stand by. His HUD hangs for a second, then unlocks. Another message pops up, small and unsettling. You are now a reference point. Jett stares at it, then at Yori. I'm sorry, did I just become a template? You changed the rules, she says. The system is using you to build something new. He groans. Fantastic. I beat a world-ending god virus and now I'm the baseline for rogue builds? I didn't even finish my talent points. They walk a few steps through the leveled zone. Debris resets itself around them. Visual artifacts rolling back like tape in reverse. A restored server node pings faintly nearby. In the distance, a support NPC cautiously resumes their idle animation, as if asking permission to exist again. Jett slows, watching it all. Internal monologue rolls in. They thought I'd die forgotten. A failsafe no one would trigger. Just a cursed rat in a trash build, scraping XP off raids I didn't deserve. But I landed the hit. I broke the cycle. Yori stops and faces him. What are you going to do now? He scans the horizon. It's cleaner than before, safer, maybe even dull. Retire rich and arrogant, he offers. Start a kill-stealing mentorship program? Print t-shirts that say last hit, first try? She raises an eyebrow. He sighs. I don't know. I spent my whole life dodging the system. Then I outlived it. Now I'm standing here with more power than sense and a bunch of underdog misfits who think I'm worth following. He looks down at finality. It doesn't squeak anymore. It hums, a low, steady note like a program finished running. I used to steal my place in the world, he says. Maybe now I can make one. Yori nods once. That would be very un-Jett of you. He smirks. Exactly. As they walk back toward the makeshift camp, a few players part the path for him. No fanfare. Just quiet respect. It's unnerving. One Killwatch member steps forward, wide-eyed, dirt-smeared, missing most of his interface. Was that the end? He asks. Jett pauses. No, he says, cracking his neck. It was the final hit. He grins. Now we see what comes after. The plaza is quiet for once. No explosions. No corrupted NPCs spouting existential dread. No guild leaders screaming about leaderboard fraud. Just the gentle hum of server drones purring under blue sky, the occasional clink of rebuilding vendors hammering menus back into shape, and the distant sound of a bard playing an out-of-tune lute like it's a calling. Yori walks the perimeter of the rebuilt central server spire. She's still in armor, habit more than need now, but the edges are cleaner and the weight sits easier on her shoulders. For the first time in weeks, the world isn't collapsing. She doesn't trust it. The world feels stable. And that is, historically, when Jett Cross is about to do something deeply inconvenient. She passes a group of surviving Killwatch members arguing about bylaws. One insists on implementing a guild dress code for vibes, while another is making a strong case for naming their HQ the Stealth Hole. They're happy, scrappy, suspiciously well-armed for civilians. Yori exhales slowly, then stops in front of the community board. There, freshly pinned with a knife and a glitter seal, is a new poster. Kill Stealers Guild, recruiting now, Final Blow or GTFO, led by Jett Cross, probably. Now featuring merch. The dagger doodle drawn next to his name is giving finger guns. Yori stares at it, sighs, then, despite herself, smiles. Of course, the world's still adapting. Above the plaza, floating system messages scroll like celebratory banners. New guild registered, Kill Stealers Guilderized. Class update complete. Rogue, variant Ghostblade. Unique trait unlocked. Finality, exclusive to Jett Cross. Everywhere she turns, the ripple effect lingers. NPCs gossip about the kill. A newbie tries to replicate the one-hit kill build using a rubber sword and 300% dodge gear. Vendors are already selling Jett-themed cloaks with fake squeak enchantments. One has a bobblehead that laughs when you fail a stealth check. She overhears a conversation between two passersby. He fought GroveMind with a squeaky dagger? No, the squeak was the damage trigger. It's symbolic. Symbolic of what? How broken he is, probably. Yori doesn't interrupt. She just listens, watches, absorbs the data. He didn't just kill a world-ending god virus, he franchised it. Then comes the tremor. Soft, subtle. A twitch in the environment that only players like her would catch. The ground shifts by a pixel. The UI lags for half a second. Yori's sword is in her hand before her mind finishes the decision. She scans the horizon. Nothing breaks, but off in the far, far distance, a dungeon door, long sealed and buried under the system's root protocols, pulses. Just once, a flicker of red text, too fast for a screenshot. She catches a glimpse. Query rogue.killchain. She doesn't breathe for a moment, then lets the blade fall back to her side. He'll show up, she says quietly. A pause, then amused. Eventually. Somewhere else, somewhere very else, chaos is mid-happening. A high-tier raid party is crumbling. Their coordinated tank stack formation is unraveling. Debuffs are flying like confetti. The healers yelling about cooldowns. The boss, some unspeakable horror with 10 eyes and a loot table shaped like a tax document, is mid-rage phase. Health bars plummet. The final blow is about to land. Then squeak. A shadow drops from above. Black leather, zero shame, infinite timing. Jett Cross lands the kill. One strike, flashy, perfectly timed, stolen clean. System alert pops. Final hit, Jett Cross. XP gained +1 for the insult. The raid team starts yelling. He's already gone. Jett appears a few zones away, reclining in the mouth of a hollowed-out tree he's claimed as a fast travel exit. He pulls up his HUD lazily, scrolling through messages he's already ignoring. You're flagged. You're famous. You're banned in 3 guilds and trending in 5. Are you doing interviews? He closes them all. Nope. He flips a gold coin into the air. Catches it. Grins. Still got it. Back at the plaza, the bard's song shifts. It's still bad, but now it's trying to rhyme cross with boss loss, and Yori has to admit that's kind of clever. She looks back at the poster one more time. Not a bounty anymore. Now it's an invitation, a symbol, a warning, or all 3. She turns and walks off into the next zone. No alarm, no call to arms, not yet. But she sharpens her sword anyway. Some players restore balance, some enforce justice, and some steal the spotlight and disappear before the loot drops. But if there's a next apocalypse, he'll be there. Probably. This has been EXP Thief, the Kill Stealer's Code. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. This has been Nexus Scrolls.